Today, I'd like to show the real way in which Claude Code skills are created. So this is the way you add additional functionalities to your AI employee. You will see a real use case of what are the different things that I'm thinking about, how I'm thinking about creating new skills, and at the end, you will also have the skill for you that I will send over. With that said, let's go into the video. So today I would like to bring you with me into the creation of a skill together so you can get an understanding of what is my thought process, how you can build a skill, and all sort of things like that. I want to build an AI thumbnail creator. Now, I found a skill online that is similar, that is created by Nick. And within this last video, he created this skill that does this specific thing. And so
Like,
what I did over here is I took the Google Drive that Nick added over here, and I added that back to my own interface by adapting everything to my own interface. Now, Nick uses this folder with the directives and execution. I use Claude Code skills, which I found to be a little bit better in terms of like context management and all sort of things. So that is the reason why we have that. Now, I tried the thumbnail AI created by Nick here. I have some problems on this one because I cannot run Gemini nano-banana from Italy. This is blocked. I tried right now to run this. And so what I want to do right now is I want to modify this and see how we can recreate this in a different version. First off, I will give you a little bit of context on what the initial skill is. So over here, this is mostly focused on YouTube thumbnail AI face swapping. I want to build something that is more like generate a full thumbnail from scratch based on some assets that I would give. So for my previous video, I created some kind of assets of what the thumbnail would look like, and then I tried to run this, but this didn't run because Gemini cannot be accessed for me. So we will get started, and everything for me will be done through voice. So the idea for today will be to build a thumbnail AI improvement skill. We already have that using Gemini, but unfortunately that doesn't work. So what we will need to do is we will need to find an alternative to the Gemini official one because we are restricted by geolocation, and use a different tool for that. Ideally, we could use something like a replicate or things of that nature to run everything and to run this. What I also would like to show you is the document that I have for this, and the document that I created, so that you can have a sense of what is the thumbnail specification that I have, so you can have a look at that. And yeah, with that said, let's run the research and let's start everything. So by the way, the tool is Super Whisper. There are a lot of AI transcription tools in the market. This is the one that I use. What I created beforehand is I created this thumbnail spec document where I explain what is my video, what is the concept, and then a couple of different things such as what is the size, background, different elements that I want, and all sort of things like that. And my goal would be, let's just try to create this with nano-banana. So I will start the planning phase. And the first thing that will be done over here is analyzing the thumbnail AI skill to see what is currently present. Now, there were a lot of different interesting functionalities, such as the um, recognizing the angles of the face and understanding how to have the right angle on the face to replicate that, and all sort of things similar to that. But our focus right now is more of full thumbnail generation based on reference images. So to give you also an example of the skills, within here I have some reference photos, and then within the reference photos I have like this photo over here and this file over here, and I would like to use both to create my own thumbnail. So yeah, as you can see, we are performing a research for replicate, phase swap API alternative to replicate. If I go on, if I go here, there are mainly two tools that I can use. There is replicate, which is like pretty famous, and another one is Foley.ai. I think probably I will use Replicator. Within Replicator, we could use nano-banana-pro. So like this would be an option. And over here we can see that we have 15 cents per image output. Or what we can also use is we could use nano-banana, which has a 0.03 cents output. So like 1/5 of the previous one. So generally after the research is done, it starts to with giving me a couple of ideas. Here he mentioned what is the 3-stage pipeline, what are some alternatives, what are the sources, and then it gives me some questions to further improve the plan. Model preference. So for me, the idea would be mostly to have two models to use. So one would be Nano Banana and one would be Nano Banana Pro. So yeah, we will mention that. So two models that I like to run are Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro. I will not like to use any other model personally. Regarding the edit functionality, we can use that. We can implement both the edit functionalities as well as the create functionality depending on what we need to do. If we need to create a complete thumbnails from scratch based on images that I will give, we can use the create. Otherwise, if we need to edit a thumbnail, we can use the editing side of things. For replicate API key, I will give you the API key into the .env. For the time being, you can skip that and you can create everything that is needed on your side. So also one important thing to remember is always add your keys into the .env. Never add the keys directly in the message over here. This is just a basic security practice so that the model doesn't have to look at the .env file. You only have access to that, and in that way you can add the API keys directly over there. So now we got the actual improvement plan here. When you receive a plan, make sure to really read the plan. This is probably the most important part to get an understanding of what needs to be done. And so it also gives you a little bit of detail. You don't have to understand what the file do, but you need to have a little bit of an understanding of what are the different things that will be created. So here mentioned that generate thumbnail.py will be created. Seems that it will add the replicate, it will add the API key for replicate, mention the models, add the image to URI helper function. So this seems to be a function to open local files, generate thumbnails, replace only the face in the thumbnail with this exact face from the reference. Okay, so this seems to be the prompt that is created by the AI for the generate thumbnail. And from what I'm understanding here, this generate thumbnail still seems to be a face swapping kind of activity. Meanwhile, we don't want that. We want something different. Also, one thing that I suggest is personally, you can go through this kind of reasoning like I did right now, just by having a voice AI like Super Whisper and talk over here. So one thing that I noticed over here into the generate thumbnail function is that within the prompt you mentioned about changing the face. Meanwhile, what I was thinking is I could give a brief of what the thumbnail would look like, and then based on the brief, you would do things such as adding images related to the images that I suggested, or related to the plan that you would have in place. So this is not just a face swapping. This is also like complete thumbnail generation, starting from zero, starting from a concept brief, and using images that I would give you locally that are added into the reference files. For either for edit thumbnail, there are no problems here. Model augment, okay. Scales, okay. What's still the same? Media pipe, face pose detections, yeah, that works. Um, Probably not 1000% sure whether that is relevant if we need to generate new thumbnails every single time. Maybe it could be helpful when it comes to generating a thumbnail and making sure that we need to modify the image that we give you so that maybe the eyes and the face points as a specific direction or things of the nature. Helper function, output directory, all good. Replicate, okay. So let's um yeah, I want you to focus on the document that I gave you at the beginning, so the thumbnail design document, and basically I would like to create a thumbnail for that. So yeah, not only face swapping but like a complete generation from scratch. That should be the input of the skill. So you shouldn't be afraid to modify the plan that it gives you, because sometimes you can spot some things which are not actually relevant for your use case. So in this specific case, as you saw, he wanted to do face swapping. Meanwhile, I'm not interested in doing face swapping. I wanted to do something more like complete thumbnail creation instead. And so that is where my information will be used to actually improve the skill and not just focus on one specific thing. So here we have the new plan, transform thumbnail AI from face swapping tool into complete thumbnail generation system. I feel like personally, another iteration here could be that the tool could still do face swapping, but I'm not interested in just face swapping. I'm mostly interested in the complete thumbnail generation system, and then we can do face swapping. Not sure if you mentioned this part. So create mode, that's okay. Editing mode, okay. Recreate mode. Maybe this is not relevant. As you can see, recreate mode could be the existing one. So yeah, I can avoid doing the recording. Okay, shows the script, shows the create thumbnail, editing, generate thumbnail, logic, update scales. Okay, so yeah, seems everything is alright. We can accept the plan, and then let's wait for everything being created, and then what we can do is test everything out. Okay, so the first implementation was completed over here. Before I was not able to create thumbnails. Right now I'm able to do that. One thing that I suggest you to do if you want to read the different things that could be done is to read the skill.md file that is created. In this case, when we are working with Claude Code and we are creating a skill, everything is within a skill.md file, which is a high level file that gives you reference of what can be done. In this part, what we can see is when this can be activated. So if, for example, you are running Claude Code and you want to say, hey, please create a thumbnail from a concept brief, it means that the AI will recognize that you have this skill within that, and it will use this and run through this. There are different modes, as we mentioned. We have create, edit, recreate. We have create mode, first create mode that generate from a brief. We have an edit mode, we have a recreate mode, and then we have a concept brief format that we design related to what was previously present, different models. CLI arguments is the way the AI runs this. So, and if you want, you can also run this with commands. reference photos, environment variables, output, edit tips, and be specific about what to change, reference exact text string when changing copy, color text work well. Okay. So all is done. You already did a test and created a thumbnail spec. Over here, we can see what was the code that was run. I suppose it was done using nano-banana, not the pro version. So as you can see over here, this is kind of bad just for the finger pointy and the image itself. So what we can say is we can take the image here and say, cool, I'd like to rerun this, but instead let's use nano-banana-pro. Um, and I think also it would be helpful to give a couple of instructions. So I would like the grids to be a little bit bigger. I would like the end to actually feel like it's coming from my body and not like an external part. Uh, when it comes to the image that I shared with you, I would like the image to be blended within the background. That means that the color of the image and the color of the background should be the same. The title itself should be all in white, a little bit bigger, and my face, I don't feel like it should be changed over here. The previous face was alright. So yeah, take the thumbnail concept that was used before, take this image and then recreate a new optimized version using nano-banana-pro. In this way, we are not just using one single information and we are stuck in context. So we are stuck in this awful thumbnail. I mean, it's not that bad, but like could be way better. And yeah, we are running the new thumbnail with refinements. As you can see here, it mentioned that it will create the thumbnail using the brief, using nano-banana-pro, and giving important refinements. Okay, so we got an actual final version here. This is still not perfect. I would say it could be improved more and more. And probably it could be improved using the edit function, as well as me giving more precise instruction on how everything could be built. But with that said, I think this video was useful in getting you an understanding of how you can create new skills. So first off, you need to have an understanding of what you are trying to build. In this case, it was an AI thumbnail designer. Go with the plan, understand the plan, understand the different points within the plan, and then just let the AI execute, test it out, see the results, and then from the results, you can give some additional insights, give some additional suggestions. So in this case, for example, what I would think the suggestion could be is improve the quality of the brief itself, so that we would improve the quality of the image, because the fading here is not that visible, and things of that nature. But with that said, this is a very good starting point, and this was just an example of one skill, and then I will show you a couple of additional example of more useful skills in lead generation or different parts. Or if you have any kind of skill that you would like me to replicate and go through, just write that out in the comment. I will help you out and I will create a video on that. With that said, that's everything on my side. Hope this is helpful. Bye.